Wow. What a game. Rodgers and Boswell for NFL co-MVP right now. Who's arguing against it? Holy shit, man. What a game. What a game. Back and forth. Wasn't expecting that. Was expecting what we did on offense. I said Rodgers was going to get not one, not two, but at least three. He ends up getting four. We put up 34 points as an offense. Just wasn't expecting the Jets to put up 32 in their own right, and Fields to look the way that he did, and their run game to look the way that they did. Because what did we say going into this game? Make the number one key against that Jets offense, stop the run. Couldn't do that from the first snap of the game till the end of it, really. I mean, I guess the end of it, we nutted up on defense. We locked in. But they weren't really trying to run it like that. That was more, we got some pressure on Fields, made him uncomfortable. Although, I mean, if Garrett Wilson just catches that ball, they keep the chains moving there. I don't know why Fields didn't just run there. I have no clue. He would have had an easy 3-4 yards. You make that pass, shit can go wrong. And Jalen Ramsey making that great tackle, getting the ball loose, definitely helped the Steelers win that game and close it out. But, man, that was awesome. That was an awesome game. That was a fun game. That was probably the best week one game, hands down, that we're going to see. Holy shit, 34-32. Was there a better quarterback thus far than Aaron Rodgers? Should be the MVP frontrunner. I know it's way too early to be talking about this, but 4 touchdowns, 244 yards. Was under duress throughout a good portion of that game, but still was getting the ball out quick. Still hung in there tough. Took 4 sacks. Making some really tight window throws down the field. Like, he's got it. It's all the haters that were saying that he's washed. It's all the doubters think he don't got it anymore. Clearly he still does. Clearly still the bad man still got some juice. Holy shit. He was awesome. Rodgers was awesome. 244, 4 touchdowns. Offense as a whole was pretty. I like what we did. We could have done better running the ball. Only 20 carries, 53 yards, 2.7. And the Kenneth Gainwell usage was very peculiar. Like, he was getting used early and often. And then finally, second half, we get Jalen Warren out there, the guy that we just gave the extension to, the guy that we said is RB1. And he started to pop off a little bit. He was getting some work in the passing game too. So like that, Rodgers spread it around. Like, DK, Calvin Austin, Pat Fryermuth had a couple catches over the middle. Even Ben Skoranek, he got the touchdown. Jalen Warren got a touchdown. Jonnu Smith with some little screen passes. I think there was a little too much Jonnu Smith with the screen passes, like too much force feeding of Jonnu Smith. But the one was nice, the little shuffle pass down at the goal line. He ends up scoring. But, dude, I mean, the main story is we got an offense and we got an elite quarterback. Like, I don't want to get like too far ahead of ourselves here, but it's Aaron Rodgers. I don't really expect any like play to decline or defenses to all of a sudden figure him out, because he's been in the league for how long? Like, this is all we needed to see, right? This is all we needed to see. Okay, yeah, 4 touchdowns. Aaron Rodgers, new organization, better structure, healthy. 4 touchdowns. Like, I mean, some easy touchdowns too, bro. He's making it look easy out there, even though it wasn't always easy for him with how Broderick Jones was blocking. That O-line was blocking for him. He hung in there tight. You got to give the dude credit. Yeah, I see that. A lot of you guys, sorry, wrong comment. A lot of you guys are saying Broderick Jones needs to get out of here. That was bad, bro. Because even though Will McDonald's good, it's only going to get worse for Broderick in these matchups. He's got to go up against Trey Henderson. He's going to have to go up against Myles Garrett. He's going to have to go up against the Ravens. That's 2 times for each of those teams the rest of the year. And then I don't have our schedule in front of me, but there's going to be other guys better than Will McDonald. I just named the ones in our division, but there's going to be some other guys better than Will McDonald. He's good, But it shouldn't have looked like that. Like, we're trying to do play actions. As soon as Rodgers turns around, he's getting blasted. Damn. I don't know. Yeah, what do? We just I mean, you gotta give him a chance. You gotta give him a couple more games at least before you just write that off. But it was tough. It was really tough. Like, he had some moments where actually he was blocking good. Looked like a first rounder there for a second, but then it was just way too much. Way too much open season with Will McDonald. Like that, he would have a bad play, and then I'd look for him the next play, like, okay, how's he gonna bounce back? And then he'd bounce back, but then like next series, he would give up something egregious. So just tough all around. I mean, and even the O-line as a whole, like in the run blocking, that wasn't good. I just went over our rushing stats. Kind of brutal. And that's what I mean. Even more credit to Rodgers. We didn't even have a run game going. He had to basically carry us. Really did. And that's what an elite quarterback does when shit's hitting the fan, defense isn't playing good, run game's not going well. You got a 3rd and long. You got to take the snap, sit in the pocket, deliver a strike over the middle, try to move the chains. And Rodgers was doing that from the first snap till the end of the game. Got the game-winning drive. I know we would have liked to have left it a little bit shorter for Chris Boswell to make the game-winning field goal, but it still counts in the record books. Game-winning drive. I guess 4th quarter comeback. I don't know how they didn't throw that flag on Calvin Austin. No clue. That was egregious pass interference. I thought the rest were kind of shitty. I think they blessed us with 1 or 2 calls, but I think they had some really bad ones on us throughout the course of the game. They had a couple missed holding calls. One was on TJ where Fields was running out to the right. And then there was one on Alex Highsmith too earlier in the game. Yeah, refs weren't too good. I didn't think they were too good. We got blessed by that fumble on the kickoff. Momentum shifted there. We go up. That was really nice. That's when Rodgers had the 3rd touchdown. Then we get the fumble. He goes right to 4. It's like, wow. I think at that point, it was like the end of the 3rd quarter. Just the 4th quarter just started. You're like, holy shit, what a game. What a game. And yeah, it stayed back and forth. You got to give credit to Fields, man. I'm not even going to front. He played way better than I thought. He looked really good. Now, he didn't have the final game-winning drive or anything, but it's not really on him. He threw the pass to Garrett Wilson, hit off his chest. I feel like Fields just should have ran it, though. I don't know why he just didn't go for the easy first down. You throw that pass, more can go wrong. At least you have the ball in your hands. There's no one around you. Just get the extra 3 yards, slide, and then keep it going. But you throw to Garrett Wilson, Jalen Ramsey's in the vicinity. He drops the hammer. Garrett Wilson loses the ball, and we win the game. Yeah, shout out to Jalen Ramsey for that. I felt like our secondary got better as the game went on. Our defensive line and our run defense never really got better. They had their moments. Like, we won the game. Listen, we won the game, and they were timely enough. We could at least say that because there were some stops that needed to be had, like the one before Rodgers' game-winning drive and the Boswell game-winning field goal. Like, we needed that stop. We did need that stop. And we got it. So credit there. But the D line, there was no moments. I can't remember a moment where it felt like, okay, we got like 2 or 3 series in a row where our run defense is actually in control and stopping Breece Hall and Justin Fields. Never felt like we had that going. Never. We would get the random series or so, and the one I just talked about at the end of the game. Much credit because, that's clutch. Got to be timely. It's timely enough to get the win. I'll take the win, bro. I'll take the win. Let me read some of these comments. Hold on. I wanted to continue with Fields real quick. Really wanted to continue with Fields. They used him right. They actually had an offense tailored toward Fields. And I said if we brought Fields back, that's what I wanted to look like because they even did a QB sneak down at the goal line. It wasn't exactly the tush push. But what I was saying, if we actually bring Fields back, you got to buy into Fields and run an offense almost like what the Eagles do with Hurts. Do read options. Use Fields' legs. Get him out in space. And that's exactly credit to the Jets. That's exactly what they did. And credit to Fields, man. The passing was on point. He looked comfortable. He looked composed. He was pretty decisive. Like he was getting the ball out quick, like on hook routes, hitting dudes in the chest like it was nothing. He was pretty locked. I got to give him credit. I really do. Even on the final drive, like I said, Could have choked. Could have made a big time error, but he didn't. He looked like he was actually ready to move the Jets down the field if it wasn't for the the Garrett Wilson drop / good play by Ramsey. Let's credit Jalen Ramsey. Got to credit him for that because did knock the ball loose. So yeah, I mean, because even whenever we went up in that second half, Fields responded. He responded. So I got to give him some credit there. Wasn't expecting Jets offense to look like that. Really wasn't. But our defensive line was absolute dog shit. No Derek Harmon. I mean, we had Loudermilk starting out there. You know, Cam was there. I guess he was up too late renegotiating his contract as opposed to getting ready for the game. He was a no-show. He had the nice tackle at the end. Keanu Benton, it's weird with him. We had high hopes for him from his rookie year, but it doesn't really seem like it's getting there the way that we want. I don't think Patrick Queen really did anything. Peyton Wilson. Yeah, our defense, our front seven didn't do much. TJ and Highsmith were solid, though. TJ had his moments, batted down passes, some TFLs. Highsmith had the sack. I thought secondary got better as the game went on. That's what I was alluding to a couple minutes ago when talking about the defense. Secondary got better as the game went on. Defensive line stayed kind of shitty the whole way through. So credit to Chuck Clark because Deshaun Elliott went out with that injury. Hopefully he gets back soon because now we have absolute no safety depth. But I think Chuck Clark played pretty good. Jalen Ramsey had a good game. Darius Slay gave up that touchdown. That was no good. JPJ, I didn't really notice him, so that's a good thing. If you're not noticing a cornerback, you're probably doing your job right. I didn't notice JPJ, and then he got hurt later. But defense needs work. Defense definitely needs work. But I think if you had to have one unit struggle in week 1 between offense and defense, I'd rather it be the defense because of how lackluster and underperforming our offense has been and inconsistent our offense has been over the last like 3-4 years. I would just prefer it to be this way as opposed to defense look good, but we don't have an offense and Rodgers didn't look as good as he looked today. And, you know, DK is looking like a bad trade and Calvin Austin ain't stepping up. That would be more concerning for me right now. I think we could patch this defense up as the season goes on. Hopefully. I don't know, man. The one thing we were at least hoping for is like we'd be able to stop the run, like going back to how last season ended. That's the one thing. Now Harmon's hurt, but that was bad, bro. That was bad. It wasn't necessarily. Tomlin said it at halftime. It wasn't necessarily about schemes and shit. Jets did have a nice scheme dialed up though for Fields. Like I gotta give credit to the play caller, the dude coming over from the Lions. He was dialing some nice shit up, but we were just getting manhandled at time. Like they were pushing us around. You saw it. First couple plays, like Cam Hayward, like he's falling all over the place. Like, what the hell? What the hell? And it really didn't change. Breece Hall running all over the place. Fields getting outside the pocket, even off the plays that weren't really run design. He was breaking the pocket, breaking contain, getting out in space. Just not a real good day for the defense. You give up 32 points to Fields and the Jets. Not that great. Now it's week 1. And I actually think the Jets might be decent this year after seeing that. Because Fields played good. It wasn't like he was getting lucky. Like, remember the Thursday night football game last year with Jameis Winston? Like, that was some Jameis getting lucky in the snow, tripping over himself, throwing it up with his eyes closed, and Jerry Jeudy making a play. This was Fields looking like he took a step. So I gotta give him credit. Give him credit and the Jets credit for actually looking like they have an offense. Actually looking like they might be competent this year. But Rodgers shredded him up, man. I called it. He wanted that revenge. He got it. 4 touchdowns. On pace for what? 4 times 17. He's on pace for a hell of a year. I know that right now. It's 1 week, but he's looking good. I liked our play calling for the most part. Yeah. There's maybe 1 or 2 too many screenplays. We were trying to get cute with it, especially late. But we were taking shots down the field. We stuck with the run game, even though it wasn't working. It's still a good idea to try to keep the balance. But it's tough. As I said going into this game, one of the main keys is just going to be our offensive line. Rodgers got to look like Rodgers, which he did. And that was despite the offensive line, despite Broderick Jones trying to sabotage us. But the offensive line also, they got to block. They got to protect Rodgers, let him get in a groove, and then protect for the run game so we can keep the balance. And wasn't able to do that, but Rodgers played like Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers played at an elite level. So shout out to that, man. What a decision by the Steelers, bro. Tip of the cap to Tomlin for bringing in Rodgers. Now, some of you might see how Fields played or see how, Fields played in this one and be like, oh, man, did we make a mistake letting Fields go? Because, he's the younger player. He's the guy that could be the franchise for the long term. I don't know if we'd be able to use Fields the way that the Jets did. I don't know if we would. You saw how it was last year. We were kind of timid in our play calling. Now, granted, I don't think the Steelers were necessarily wrong in that approach because Fields was the backup. He was coming off of some shaky outings with the Bears with turnovers and, losing games in the second half and stuff. And our defense was playing good enough at the time. You're just asking Fields, don't turn the ball over, don't lose the game. But you saw flashes with Fields, and he really put it all together today where it looks like he could be a guy. The talent's there, and if he's able to play quarterback the way that he did today, like just take the snap, pocket, ball out, and then utilize his legs, utilize that arm strength, and all the talent and intangibles that he has, he could be a dangerous player. But I just don't think we would be doing that with Fields. I still think we'd have the training wheels on him. I really do. I don't think Tomlin trusted Fields to that extent. Even if we gave him the contract, we would be slow playing it. But Tomlin really likes his veteran quarterbacks. He obviously had Big Ben for many, many years. And he's got an affinity towards Aaron Rodgers. So with Rodgers coming here, he's letting Rodgers and Arthur Smith collaborate and just run the show however they want to run it. I think he has full faith in that operation. However, Rodgers and Smith want to deliver. All right, let's get with these comments here. I said I was going to get to them. Shout out to everyone here, bro. Thank you for stopping through. Thank you. It's even better coming off of a week 1 victory. Sequoia Harris has missed you, my boy, on the other channel. Nasty game. But we won a Broderick Jones. Who? Cam got paid and did nothing. Nasty game. We play better. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take the dub. As I said, if we're going to talk about hiccups or one side of the ball being bad and the other side picking us up, I'm happy it was the offense picking us up and the defense struggling. As opposed to the other way around. I feel like if the offense was struggling, there's reason for less optimism just because of how we've seen our offense over the last 3-4 years. And you know that you have a cap on your team if your offense can't put up more than 20 points. You know you can't go deep in the playoffs and battle with Josh Allen, Burrow. But if your offense is good enough and your defense is at least timely enough and they can start gaining momentum in certain pockets through the season, especially late, then you could be a dangerous team. We've seen that before. Saw it with the Bengals actually last year because their defense was terrible. And then those last 5 games, they actually weren't that bad. They were good enough to only give up between 20, 25 points and enable the Bengals offense to carry them and go on that 5-0 streak. Saphir Burchett. 2 things that caught my eye. Broderick effing Jones was terrible. Yeah, I think that's pretty clear and obvious. Cam was not good. Asking for a raise. Couldn't tell that he was on the field. Listen, I think he played it well, though. I think the deal that he agreed upon, it should have him back in Steeler fan good graces because it's all team incentive. It's all playoff incentive. He did the Rodgers thing. And I called that too. I was like, here's the happy medium. Here's the way that both sides could come together. Just do incentives. That's what Juwan Jennings did. Just do incentives. Like push comes to shove. Give Cam his raise. If I thought it would be individual incentives. I was going to say give Cam a raise if he makes All-Pro, Pro Bowl, has a really good season. that's obvious. That's, just a easy way to, like, compensate him and for his good play, right? At least make him earn it. Like, if you don't wanna do it up front, but he does have a good season, yeah, just pay him on the back end. It's like, "Yeah, you earned this. Here it is." But he didn't want any individual stuff, just like Rodgers, so it's all playoff and team. And you gotta respect it. I'm over the asking for the I'm over it now, because what he agreed upon was the team's gotta earn it. That's it. It's all on the team. So even though he came off as selfish with wanting the pay raise and sparking some of the drama throughout August, his actual action was, do I want to say selfless? I don't know if selfless. I mean, he's going to get more money if the team does good. So I think it was a win-win. Win-win, but like ultimately, I don't think Cam got what he wanted. I think he wanted money up front and probably more money than I think it's a $3 million incentive that he could reach. It's enough. I think Cam wins a little bit more in the PR. He gets his potential raise, and Steelers, they take care of their guy somewhat. Even I don't know, the Steelers doing this, Omar Khan doing this. This isn't. I don't think this is that big of a deal. I think they'd be fine with giving Cam a few extra million if we go on a deep run in the playoffs. Big A 21. Honestly, defense did not look good at all from the pass rush to run blocking. But F it, a dub's a dub, 1-0, baby. Absolutely. Thanks for the comment, bro. Thanks for the comments. Thanks for the paid comments. Thanks for anyone here just spending their time, because time's valuable as well. Money's valuable too. If you want to drop some more money comments, some Deke doubloons, some Deekdo, go ahead. But Thad C says Cam Hayward, ... Yeah, I guess we won. The top short tour. My bad. The top storyline should be Rodgers, and we got an offense and Boswell, and we've talked about that. But I know it's a lot of Cam Hayward, and a lot of Broderick Jones in the chat. Big A 21 back with another comment here. Rodgers and DK also had a ton of potential. Can't wait to see how that looks throughout the season. Yeah. And Rodgers was, I don't want to say force feeding him the ball, but it's like we weren't just throwing deep passes to DK. We were hitting him on drags. We were hitting him on short passes, hitting him on outs, and letting him get to work. I like that a lot. Yeah, we haven't even unlocked the Rodgers DK deep pass just yet. We did one with Calvin Austin. That was kind of nice. And we tried a couple with Calvin Austin. The one he got flagged on, so that had impact. That helped the offense out. He got flagged on, but then the other one, he mossed the dude. Now, that wasn't necessarily like the deepest pass. It was probably like a 25, 30-yard pass down the sideline. So that was dope, though. Like Calvin Austin stepping up as wide receiver, too. I didn't even see Roman Wilson out there. Like, it looked like to me he was out there for a few snaps in the first half, but that was it. I didn't see him out there. Yeah, it was mainly Jonnu Smith, Freiermuth, Calvin Austin, and DK, and Skoranek actually getting some snaps, helping in the blocking game on some of those screens. And he had that touchdown. That's why Skoranek's on the team. And I guess with Calvin Austin playing like that, and it seems like Rodgers has a lot of faith in him, despite Calvin Austin being injured throughout training camp and preseason games and stuff. Because he went to him. He went to him a lot, and Calvin Austin rewarded him. So that was dope to see. That was wide receiver 2 type of stuff from Calvin Austin. DK was the guy. I kind of called what happened. Instead of, I thought Roman Wilson was going to get like the 4 receptions, 70 yards, maybe a touchdown. Calvin Austin got that, but I said DK is going to be our one. He's going to get over those 55 receiving yards, which he did. 4 receptions, 83 yards. He had a drop too. He had a couple passes that weren't drops. Rodgers kind of threw one behind him. It was deflected. So he could have even had a bigger game. He could have, 7 targets. So a few were left out there. He could have easily had over 100 yards. I called it, though. Rodgers over 3 touchdowns. I missed the Darnell Washington anytime touchdown. He wasn't really utilized at all, actually. DK over 55. Rodgers with the touchdowns. What else did I kind of call? Calvin Austin, even though I didn't call it. I said, like, there's gonna be a 2. I think it's going to be Robin Wilson. They're going to get like 3-4 receptions, 70 yards. It was Calvin Austin. I missed on the defense. I thought the defense was going to be playing a lot better. I thought Cam Hayward was going to get a sack. I thought the interior was going to do good. Actually, I really didn't think it was going to look like it. I didn't think Fields or the Jets were going to look that put together. But I thought we were going to be better going up against a weakened Jets offensive line with no Elijah Vera Tucker, and they had rookies on the outside for the tackles. Or not. Memba was a rookie against TJ. But then they had Olu on the left side, who's inexperienced too. I know they're both talented. They're first-round picks. I get it. But I thought we were going to be better against that offensive line. Weakened interior, young guys at the tackle spot. We're only missing Derek Harmon. We were missing Herbig too. But, yeah, and Sawyer, he's got some work to do. We knew he was going to be a developmental piece. We knew he would be hitting his stride, maybe getting his peak year 3, because that's what it was in Ohio State. Project coming in, not the most athletic or anything, but just worked hard, worked on his fundamentals, and eventually became a captain for Ohio State, national champion, like a really good player in college. That's what we're expecting from Jack Sawyer down the line. Not right now, but at least he's a body out there to give TJ or Highsmith a rest when they need it. But hopefully Herbig's back next week. I'm happy we sat Herbig. I was talking about that earlier. Happy we sat him. No reason to mess with the soft tissue injuries like that for week 1. Nah, we're cool. We even had Malik Harrison out there a little bit. It looked like he got banged up for a player too. Yeah, a lot of players looked like they were getting banged up. KM at the end, Deshaun Elliott, JPJ. Unfortunate. Is there anything else I called? Oh, that parlay hit. I hit on that parlay. I said Rodgers would have more passing yards than Fields. I said he'd have over 1.5 touchdowns and the Steelers would win. So that parlay hit. That was nice. I guess I was expecting more out of the run game. I was thinking Jaylen Warren would do a little bit more, but he wasn't out there in the first half. Caught the touchdown. 11 carries, 37 yards, 3.4 yards a carry. Not terrible, but not good. That's just more on the offensive line, though. Kenneth Gainwell, kind of out there too much. But I wonder if that might have been just a Rodgers move. Because Rodgers was talking up Gainwell throughout training camp and preseason. Feels comfortable with Gainwell, at least to start the game. But then we were like, yeah, we're paying Jaylen Warren this money. We know what Jaylen Warren is. He's better than what Gainwell's doing right now. Get Jaylen Warren out there. And you saw Jaylen Warren do Jaylen Warren stuff in that second half. Quick, speedy, find the hole, hit it, and then a dude's trying to tackle him. He's trying to mow him over. You love it. Okay. Justin Gordon. Can we honestly say we have a real RB1? I don't see it. I think we just got to get Jaylen Warren more carries. I think those 7 carries we gave Kenneth Gainwell, give those to Jaylen Warren. We only ran the ball 20 times. So we'll see how the offense evolves. Like we needed to pass it. It is what it is. We tried sticking with the run game to stay balanced, but there were just times where this isn't working. Get Rodgers in the gun. Let him go to work. Let him hit a short pass. Get the ball out quick before Broderick lets Will McDonald get there. Yeah, he was doing his thing. Rodgers was doing his thing. It's just elite quarterback play. Elite quarterback savvy by him. Operating at a very high level. Freddie McFarland, J-Ram to safety and bring Beanie off the practice. Yeah, with Elliott being out. I like Chuck Clark, though. I did like Chuck Clark. You could bring Beanie up, though, for the extra depth. I'm not opposed to that at all. So we were moving. You saw Ramsey moving all over the field. He was at safety. He was at the slot. He was at the outside. He was doing his thing. It was as advertised with him. He was going to be a versatile piece. Who else? I think that's it for. No, that's it for the paid comments. We got a lot more other comments coming in. Let me get to some non-paid comments because, like I said, even you guys just spending your time here, spending your energy, that means something. Appreciate it. Hold on. Ramsey was born a Steeler. I mean, not only the play at the end, knocking the ball out from Garrett Wilson, close it out for us. That was awesome. But I like the flop, and then the dancing after the flop to get us that 15-yard penalty because we kind of needed it at that point. We did. Yeah, we needed something because the defense. I can't remember when that was. That was that was right before half, right? That was right before half. And that was the thing for us on offense. Now I'm glad we scored. It's one of those things. We took the timeout, and I was kind of complaining about the clock management to my buddies. I'm like, what are we doing with this clock management? Why'd we take the timeout? We want to milk the clock down to 0 so the Jets don't have a chance to get the ball back and maybe kick a field goal because points are valuable. These are winning type of moments right before half and at the end of the game. You got to be careful with this clock stuff. So we called the timeout. And there was like 30-some seconds left. Jets kept their timeout because they didn't call it. And then we score a touchdown. And, with 30 seconds and a timeout, that's very possible to get it within field goal range. And Aaron Glenn, you could see how he was talking at halftime. He wanted to get that field goal. He did. He wasn't going to just play conservative. He was going to try for it. But that 15-yard penalty was big. It knocked him out. And then obviously they didn't kick the field goal. They just kind of ran it out into half. But that was Ramsey. Yeah, there's some veteran savvy right there. As Steeler people, we're not big flop guys. You know what I mean? We're not big on some tough guys coming up to you, and then you just kind of flop. You do the LeBron. We're not big on that, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do, right? Sometimes you got to, Steeler people, we're blue collar, hard nosed. Like you're gonna stand up. You're not gonna flop. But I think the timing was right there for Jalen Ramsey. He made up for it with the physical play in the second half. How about that? He made up for it. I guess the flop or being kind of soft there definitely made up for it. But even the flop was a good move. It was helpful for us. It was helpful in getting us closer for the victory. All right, what else we got here? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Force the 15-yard penalty. I'll take it. Yeah. Like you're not thinking Mean Joe Green. I'm just Mean Joe Green, James Harrison, Jack Lambert, Jack Ham, Ryan Clark, Casey Hampton. You're not thinking of these staples on past Steeler defenses taking flops, right? If some dude's coming at you. You're just not, but you kind of get what I'm saying here. You kind of get what I'm saying. It is what it is, though. We got the 15 yards. Yeah, Calvin Austin was awesome. The mossing of that dude. Yeah, announcer said it. Like you're not thinking Calvin Austin's mossing someone at 5'7", but he did that. He did it. We've complained about throwing deep balls to Calvin Austin in the past because you're just like, what are we doing? It's kind of a waste of a attempt here because Calvin Austin's 5'7". Why are we throwing the ball down the field to him? I remember the Pickett pick. Sorry, I mentioned Pickett. Sorry, I tried to go the whole show without mentioning Pickett. It was that Pickett pick against the Raiders. Remember, he threw it in like double coverage down to like Calvin Austin. I was like, if that was Pickens, I wouldn't hate it. You're trying to like go in between the seams there of the cover two. Calvin Austin's so small. So I think we've tried some deep balls to Calvin like that. And they just never worked out. But Rodgers is just that good. He knows where to pinpoint the ball. He's got that accuracy. Yeah. New guy throwing. Exactly. Yep. Aaron can sling it. Accuracy on point. Hell of a game, bro. Like, he was killing it. He was awesome. After the 4 touchdowns, I'm like, Rodgers for MVP. I got the bet in. I put the bet in before the season. I put the money where my mouth is. I was talking up Rodgers this whole offseason. He's going to be good, man. He's going to be good. Many reasons we could talk about. He actually wasn't that bad last year. 28 touchdowns, almost 4,000 yards. Shitty Jets organization. Coming off the Achilles, trying to knock the rust off. Now he's with a much more stable franchise. And you saw what happened week 1. It's just week 1, too. And you could see there's a little miscommunication, too, on some plays. Like the one, he was trying to get Jonnu Smith up the middle of the field, like on a vertical. Jonnu cut the route off too early, and Rodgers overthrew him. He was trying to get the big play because he got the too many men on the field. Got the penalty, knew that he was trying to go for the big play, go for the deep shot. So there's some stuff to clean up for sure. Glenn Hunter surprised with Kenny G, and CA looks better with Aaron. Yep. Surprised with Kenny G. What do you mean? Like he did bad? I am too. I thought he would be better. Even even though I wasn't expecting that many carries, I felt like whatever carries he would get, it would be better than that. He looked good on like the first series, I think. Was it the first series or two? He looked good. And then we kept him in and he just got worse, it felt like. And there were some runs he kept going outside. He should have just cut it up the middle. He could have at least gained like 2 or 3 yards. If we're ever going to not stick to our we don't negotiate contracts in season rule, let's do it for Boswell after the 60-yarder. I don't think anyone is going to complain about giving Boswell an extra $1 million or $2 million if we wanted to do that on Monday. We wanted to do that tomorrow. Cam got his little incentive deal. We're going to bump Boswell up an extra $1 million or $2 million, make him the highest paid kicker. Everyone will be fine, especially since Boswell didn't complain about his contract at all this offseason. The Schefter report was thrown out there, so there was a leak that he was looking for something, but didn't hear anything from Boswell. Didn't hear anything about him sitting out. And he just nails a 60-yarder for the win. Like, and that might have been from 70, bro. That was cooked. He smoked that thing. I'm not going to front. I thought Corliss Waitman kind of sucked today. I think he had one good punt. All of his other ones weren't that good. Really, yeah, I didn't think he punted too well today. Did good for us last year. Was pretty good in the regular season. I think, or the preseason. I think you could debate between him and Johnston who won that punting competition. You could definitely debate it. Steelers went with Waitman. Like, fine. But I don't think he punted good today. I'm not going to front. Give Boswell TJ's money. Been saying this. Yeah, in terms of allocating the money. And we talked about this in the offseason, right? TJ Watt getting 40. It's like, TJ Watt played good. Was it 40 million good? Was it 41 million good, though? Was it Depoy TJ? I don't know about that. And then Cam getting his money. Now, Cam still, even with Cam is still playing at, and that's the thing, his deal's incentives anyway. So he's still playing on the contract he was already on. So he's extremely underpaid. So we can't be stressing about that. But I hope he's not looking like this the rest of the season, because then it's not even about whether his pay is matching where he's at with the other defensive linemen. It's just like, bro, you're a liability on defense. Then you're just not a good player. We can't be dealing with that. You're hurting us. It's not about the money anymore. We would be saying, though, he's overpaid then if he keeps playing like this. TJ was in playoff form. He was good. He was good. Oh, playoff form as in like no show. Like no big stats. He had some tackles for a lot. He had the pass deflection. He just didn't get the sack. He didn't get the forced fumble. He didn't get like that one big like splash play. But we didn't need it. We got lucky with the we did need it as a defense. We saw 32 points. But what I mean is, like, the momentum shifting play happened on the kickoff when the guy fumbled it. My buddy texted me in the group message. He says, "Is that the softest fumble ever?" I think it was. Kenneth Gainwell like barely hit that ball, and he just gave it up. Gave it up like a loaf of bread. Thoughts on Benton? Need more. I'll probably rewatch the game. I'll check for him, but I just thought he was kind of invisible. He almost had that pick, right? He almost had the pick, but in terms of doing his job as expected of being an interior defensive lineman, I didn't see much. I haven't seen much from Benton in a minute since his rookie year, it feels like. We got a paid comment here. Hold on. Why can't I pull this up? Hold on. Justin Gall. So glad our defense finally sent 5 or 6 rushers over and over again. Fields made us pay. Looks like a real NFL quarterback. We did rush. Yes, we did. That's a good point. Fields just played good. I said that earlier in the show. I got to give the dude credit. He played really good. Looked composed, was locked in. Fields made us pay. He looks like a real NFL quarterback, but congrats us for stepping up when it counted. Yep, we did at the end. Those last 2 series. We could talk shit on the defense all we want, and deservingly so. But Last 2 series, we got Rodgers the ball back, balls for the game-winning field goal, and then even though Fields just could have easily ran it for the first down and Garrett Wilson was wide open, Jalen Ramsey did knock that ball out. And he closed out the game. And that was that. 32-34 Steelers, 1-0. Glenn Hunter, can we give a few of those Jonnu targets to DK? Yeah. Yeah, and I was saying this with DK. We were getting him the ball closer to the line of scrimmage than what you're used to with him. Because usually he's like the deep post. He's the vertical on the sidelines, taking the top off the defense. He does slants and stuff too, but we were getting to him on outs, like drag routes and doing the run after with him. So, yeah, if we want to do a screen, I'm not opposed. I think we do a screen. I think we did do one screen with him. It's not like Johnny was targeted like that much though. Maybe he was. It was 6 targets, but it was 5 receptions for 15 yards. Yeah, it was maybe over targeted. Maybe a couple of those could have went to DK Metcalf. So your point is valid. Very valid. Very valid. Now, Johnny's his stats would have been a little bit better if him and Rodgers connected on that one over the middle. What else we got in the chat, man? I don't know. Is there anything I got to cover here? Defense shaking off the rust. That's what you got to hope. Rust or Queen underwhelmed. Yeah, the whole front 7 underwhelmed. TJ and Highsmith play good. But like the interior, the middle linebackers, the interior defensive line, not good. I mean, I had higher hopes for YA Black, although how much was he really out there? I don't feel like I saw him like too much. I saw Cam Benton and Loudermilk, it felt like more. And when YA was out, he just wasn't doing anything. Regular season a little bit different than preseason. Should have looked better than that with those guys still. Because we kept 3 interior defensive linemen. We weren't running. We were doing the 3-4. We were trying to stop the run. So that was the mentality. Like if you run that 3-4, you're thinking, yeah, Jets are going to run the ball. They're going to be doing the Fields read option stuff. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, they're going to be getting the rock. Just couldn't do anything about it. We couldn't. It's not like we stayed in like a dime package or stayed in a nickel package where we were lighter on defense. We stayed heavy. We just were getting out-muscled. He's got to be if you're just doing week 1 power rankings for MVP. Rodgers got to be the top of the leaderboard right now. He has to be 4 touchdowns. He's a quarterback. Storylines there and everything as well. Redemption arc, and he did it against his former team in week 1. You see what Russ was doing with the Giants. I saw those stat lines looking bad, looking real bad. It's almost a shame looking at that and then seeing what Fields is doing with the Jets and to think like, oh, man, like what if we would have stuck with Fields last year and actually unlocked the offense, tailored it toward him, and just let him go? Because it could have looked like that. It really could have, but we were conservative with Fields. And I'm not saying that was the wrong approach for those first 6 games, him coming in as a backup, just trying to not mess up, keep us afloat. We went 4-2, but he played good. That's the thing. You saw in moments when we needed him to step up on, third downs, late in games. He was good. He was like legitimately good. You saw all the flashes. But we went with Russ, and Russ was good until he wasn't. Like it was looking like an amazing decision until it wasn't. I want to check some of these scores and like quarterback stats. If we're just talking MVP, Dallas, Philly, Hurts or Dak didn't play better than Rodgers. Herbert played good with the Chargers. Herbert played really good, so he would be in the mix, the conversation. Mahomes played good too. New Orleans, Arizona. That's the low-scoring game. Kyler had 2 touchdowns. Rattler didn't look like he played that good. Let's see. Daniel Jones had a game. 272, just 1 touchdown, though. Colts win 33-8. That's ridiculous. Do you guys have red zone? I didn't even have red zone on. I was just locked into the Steeler game. Wow. So Cleveland lost because they missed the extra point. They popped that highlight up. See, Joe Flacco, I'm telling you, he had that cute little run with the Browns where they make the playoffs and stuff. But it's Joe Flacco's going to Joe Flacco. He has a high amount of attempts, 290 yards, a touchdown, but then the 2 picks. I didn't even watch the game, but, like, that's Joe Flacco type of shit. Like, he probably did some boneheaded mistake late in the game. But, yeah, Browns, because they missed that extra point. Burrow didn't really have a good game, 113, 1 touchdown, nothing crazy, at least from a stat standpoint. Jaden Daniels was looking good from what I was seeing. Yeah, 233, a touchdown, 68 on the ground. What else am I missing? Yeah, Drake May and Geno Smith looked like they were both playing good. Geno Smith, 362 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Drake May, 287, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. No one has done better than Rodgers thus far in any of these Week 1 games. Let me see Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Penix, 300, a touchdown. Baker, 3 touchdowns, 167 yards. If you're just doing Week 1 power rankings, I like Rodgers, top MVP. Most touchdowns, and wasn't light on the yards either. 244, that's not bad on the yards. And that was with Broderick Jones screwing up left and right and our defense being like shit. Rodgers had to carry us, bro. He carried us until Boswell then had to carry us with that 60-yarder. Yeah, Slay was looking old, man. Looked old on that play, but he didn't make any other bad plays after that, so credit to him there. And that's why I really thought the Jets offense was not going to do much. As long as we sold out for the run, I didn't think Fields was going to play like that. But if we sold out for the run, all they got is Garrett Wilson. And if you look at how Fields distributed the ball, it was very Garrett Wilson heavy. 95 to him, 95 and a touchdown. It was 7 receptions. No one else had within 5 of those receptions, because the next guy is Breece Hall, Tyler Johnson, Josh Reynolds, and Jeremy Ruckert. They all had 2 receptions a pop. That's it. Garrett Wilson, 7 receptions. So they fed Garrett Wilson heavy. I was like, they don't have much after him. So just focus on stopping the run and lock up Garrett Wilson, double team Garrett Wilson on occasion. That's it. Couldn't do it, though. We really couldn't. Spanky. Did it feel like this game was very personal for Fields? Thought at times he was over taunted. Yeah, definitely on that touchdown. The bootleg down at the goal line. Absolutely. Did you see him? He was hot dogging it. Ooh, are we doing it this soon? Need to replace Broderick Jones with Andrews Pete. Not this soon. Give Broderick. We got Seahawks. I don't think their edge rushers are like that off the top of my head. Seahawks and then Patriots. Neither of them have edge rushers like that. Let me look at their depth chart. Let me just double check. Seahawks did invest. Didn't they invest a first-round pick in the last draft or two in an edge rusher? Once I see the name, it's going to stick out. All right, they brought in DeMarcus Lawrence. DeMarcus Lawrence and Jaron Reed. Yeah, so I'm not too scared of that, actually. I'm really not. I don't know who's going to be playing what side. Marcus Lawrence over the hill. I don't even know who Jaron Reed is. 4.5. Who is this guy? He's been on Seattle. Then this guy's old too. Seattle to KC to Green Bay back to Seattle. That's a better matchup for Broderick next week. At least give him that. See if he can build the confidence up. And then Let me see Patriots depth chart. And you got Danielle Hunter. I off the top of my head, I'm not sure. Does he move all over the place? The Vikings? Yeah, I'm not stressed about the Patriots edge rushers here. Harold Landry ain't bad. Christian Barmore. Nah. Give Broderick at least 2 weeks. I'm saying 2 weeks. It's not an awful idea, because Pete did decent in the preseason. He's definitely more of a guard throughout the course of his career. But if Broderick keeps playing like that, it's not going to hurt. That would remind me of, remember when we pulled in Flozo Adams out of nowhere, like off the street, because our offensive line was so bad back in like 2010? And we ended up going to the Super Bowl with Flozell as our starting left tackle. It's like, dude had his heyday probably 5-6 years prior, over the hill, but might be able to still get it done. Might be at least better than bad for you. And that's what Flozell was. And maybe Pete could be that guy if Broderick keeps playing like this. Because Broderick was just bad. He was just bad. He's bad today. Bad. What else we got? Yeah, I knew it was going to be a big number. Thanks for doing the math. 68 touchdowns. I told you he's going to be. I told you he's going to be throwing in the red zone and stuff. I told you. He's going to want to pad those stats against the Jets. And luckily it didn't screw us. Like, they were wide open plays. They were nice passes, easy catches. It wasn't like we were forcing it. We weren't trying to force slants like Russell Wilson in the Super Bowl just so Rodgers could get his touchdown. They were open plays. Good plays. Guys were open. Easy passes. Joey Porter Jr. injury, I don't know about it. I just saw him sitting out at the end. What's the deal? What do you guys know? It seemed like he was walking around. Jones played good. I thought he played better in preseason than what the reports were of him coming out of training camp. That's why there was optimism. But in Broderick's rookie year, he was terrible. Wasn't he terrible in the preseason? And then he was good whenever he got out there when we benched Chooks. But now he's good in preseason. He's looking pretty rough in the regular season. He looked bad last preseason too. Looked real bad because he had that thing on his arm. He almost got. Didn't he almost? Or am I thinking Kendrick Green? Or maybe I'm just thinking both. Broderick, Kendrick Green. They almost got like Mason or one of our backup quarterbacks killed at one point. Got absolutely blasted. Porter, damn, bro, what's up with these soft tissues? Highsmith always has something like a groin or a hamstring. Now JPJ, yeah, all the time. Herbig, all the time. We got a few of these. I don't. Who's our strength and conditioning coach? It can't be the same guy from last year. It can't be. Can't be. We got to figure that out. I did see the Tyreek Hill stuff. I mean, Dolphins were terrible. I'm sure he's not happy at all. But yeah, he was. Yeah, it looked like he was getting a little animated on the sidelines. If Calvin Austin's playing like this, I ain't stressing about Tyreek. Not at all. The offense looked like we just put up 34 points. We put up 34 points and our offensive line looked bad. That's what I'm more concerned about than an extra receiver. A little more concerned about the offensive line. I just don't think you can make any rash moves right now by benching Broderick. I think you got to stick with the process. Give him another game or two. Let him learn from this. It's year 3 with him, but this is year 1 for left tackle. Let's give him some grace. Give him 2 games. Maybe we'll give him to the bye. How about that? Because then you got Vikings and Ireland. Then we got the bye. I think you give him to the bye before you make any assessments. You're just going to have to help him. You're just going to have Darnell over there. You're going to have an extra tight end. It looks like we were trying, but McDonald was just getting off. Spin moves, doing whatever. Couldn't contain him, really. I did talk about this. He played good. Hey, Deke, just turn on. What are your thoughts on TJ Watt's performance? Seems like he's falling off. Play good. Play good. He didn't play like Depoy TJ, though. He didn't play like a $40 million edge rusher. I think both can be true. Play good. Really good. I mean, yeah, really solid game. What, $41 million worth? We can afford it. That's the thing. This is why we had to pay TJ. We got all of our players on it. We got Rodgers, DK, we got Jalen, we got Slay. We got all these players, and we made it fit under the cap, and we also paid TJ. So, like, it's not like he's stealing anyone's money for at least this year. Maybe down the line, it could hurt us from getting an extra receiver, or who knows how things are going to be situated. But most likely, we're going to have a quarterback on a cheap deal, so we're still going to be able to afford it. But it's just that question of, in the NFL of the year 2025, the smartest thing to be paying an edge rusher $40 million. We could afford it. As long as our offense is looking like this, Calvin Austin steps up. We got DK Metcalf on his deal. Jonnu, Freiermuth. Either we'll get a rookie quarterback in here, they'll compete with Will Howard, or Rodgers comes back for another year on some affordable deal. We'll make it work. But that's my assessment of TJ. Good. Nice pass deflection, some tackles for loss. He was in the mix. Like, he was making shit happen. But you know what we're used to seeing from TJ. I thought we were gonna get that like the last drive or two. Still got the stops, but I was expecting a TJ type of play. I was expecting like forced fumble, big time hit, dropping the hammer, something like that. Yeah, I think TJ is like the least of our concerns on defense right now. I'd say TJ and Ramsey. I did like how Chuck Clark played. TJ, Ramsey, I think Chuck Clark played good. I, again, didn't notice JPJ getting burnt at all. So, like, those would probably be like my top 4 players from defense. Highsmith. Let me throw Highsmith in there too. Those were the top 4 or 5 players on defense. Yeah, Slay got cooked on that touchdown. But other than that, yeah, he hung in there. Yeah, I'm still seeing a lot of Cam comments. A lot of people pissed about that. Yeah, I get it. I get it, but I feel like the deal that he agreed to with the Steelers, I'm fine. I'm over it. I'm not stressing about it. He did a team incentives thing. It's not like he got a pay raise now. If the Steelers do good in the playoffs, he'll get paid more. He did the Aaron Rodgers thing. Team incentives. That's fine. I can't hate on that. Can't hate on it. All right. I think that's it. I don't know if I got any more for you guys. I think I covered everything I needed to. Let me check some notes, see if I missed anything. There was a point. I don't know if he was out the whole game because they didn't continue to talk about it. I didn't really notice it. But there was that one series when Quinnen Williams wasn't out there and you actually saw a run game getting going and offense moved the ball down the field at a really high clip. I think we scored a touchdown on that series. But you heard the announcer say, yeah, Quinnen Williams hasn't been out there. And then we're literally right down in the jet zone scoring a touchdown like it's nothing. And I was sitting there thinking, like, yeah, I wonder why we're doing so good. Oh, yeah, Quinnen Williams is out. Thanks for that piece of information. That's it. Yeah, I'm looking at my notes right now. I'm good. I don't think I got to go over anything else. I'll take one more look at the box score. Oh, fumbles, ball security. Kenneth Gainwell, bad. Caleb Johnson, bad. Not Jaylen Warren putting the ball on the ground. Notice that. I'm good. I don't got anything else. Ball is money. Ball is absolute money. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the rest of football, man. Steelers 1-0. We got victory Monday tomorrow. I'll get a nice show out there for us. Any updates? Any thoughts? No, I think we're good. I don't think I have anything else. Yeah. Great win, man. Great win. I'm gonna throw some more football on. Watch the Sunday night game. Go to sleep, and then you'll see me tomorrow. We'll be up and at 'em. We'll get a nice vid. We'll piggyback off some of these takes and condense something down for a nice little Monday morning show. So stay chilling. Here we go, Steelers 1-0. Liking this squad right now. Really, Rodgers still got it. They said he was done. They said the bad man was done. Nah, he's still bad. He's still a bad man. Still a bad man. It's almost like I know ball. It's almost like I know what's up. Look, the 2 guys. Well, who did I say? I said the 2 guys I'd be cool with bringing back. Fields and Rodgers. And then a Stafford trade. That's looking like a blessing in disguise because we didn't know about his back injury and all that shit. That's looking like a blessing in disguise that didn't happen. I'm just saying, like, those were the only options the Steelers could have went, in my opinion, for quarterback this offseason. You don't run it back with Russ. You don't get some of these other guys and overpay them. You want elite quarterback play. It's either Rodgers is going to return to form or you're going to be able to develop Fields' talent into something. And you saw enough flashes in-house last year. I just don't know. I don't think we would have been able to get Fields looking like that. I don't. So credit to the dude, the offensive play caller came over from the Lions. Credit to Aaron Glenn for having the vision. I don't think we would have done that. Tomlin would have been too safe with Fields still. He just would have. So I don't blame Fields for not trusting it because Tomlin didn't put his full trust in Fields. And I don't think that would have been any different. We might have drafted a quarterback if we signed Fields. It's just that Tomlin knew he had Rodgers in the back pocket. Who knows what we would have done? I just don't think it would have looked like that. I really don't. But that's it for today's show. See you guys tomorrow. Peace.